Hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks. I have been asked specifically to do a couple of different videos. Oh my god, sorry, I'm going to a girlfriend's birthday party and it's all the way up in Mornington, and so I have the opportunity, sitting here alone, to do a bunch of different videos that have been requested. So I'm going to try and get them done for you because this is pretty much the only time I actually have the time to do these sorts of things. The only time I'm alone, the only time that I don't have to be giving my attention or time to someone else. So the subject that someone specifically wanted to talk about was meltdown avoidance, or even how to handle meltdowns. Oh, it's white all over my top. Sorry, I'm so dirty. Now, I just really want to restate, before I start this video, I really want to restate that, guys, I'm not a pediatrician. I am not a developmental diagnostician. I cannot tell you if your child has autism. Yes, I have 17 years of experience, not only with my own autistic child, obviously with others, but working with speech therapists, occupational therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and all these people. But it does not make me qualified to tell you whether your child is autistic, okay? It's really important that you understand. So anyone who is sending messages, asking that, I can't tell you. I mean, it would be actually really bad for me to say yes or no, because even though there may be traits, and even though 100% in my heart I'm looking at what you're telling me and I'm like, oh, there is just no doubt here, it would be irresponsible of me. And you still need to go through the process of a diagnosis, because that process in itself is actually incredibly important, because it sets you up mentally for if you do get a diagnosis. That process, how long it takes, is actually a really important part of mentally setting yourself up, or people around you, knowing that you're going through that process. And it helps, it helps everybody to sort of set themselves up for that. So that's going to be my first thing. Okay, so all of this is opinion-based, experience-based. So this is not my medical advice. None of this is anything like that. This is just my opinion and what I have seen work and what has worked. So for me and for a few others that I've seen. So with regards to meltdowns, I have found that the major cause, other than the actual trigger, is the inability to express. So often when a child is non-verbal, you will find far more meltdowns than you will when a child is verbal and able to tell you what the problem is. I'm going to take one of these out because I can't really hear anything. So if a child is non-verbal, I find the sheer number of meltdowns to be far more significant, because they're frustrated and they can't tell you what they want, what they need, and so whether there's an actual stimulus or trigger there that is causing a meltdown, or whether it's just a frustration, what you want to do is deal with it before it gets to the meltdown. Now, easy said, is it easy done? I actually believe it is. No child that I have ever seen just simply goes from 0 to 100 meltdown. Now, Bo used to, the significance of his meltdowns was so extreme, he would vomit and end up passing out just from the sheer exhaustion of this meltdown. And it only took a couple of those. Oh my God, to be a parent and see your child go through that and do that. Why have I got all this white fluff? Sorry, I opened a bag of something. It had fluff all over it, and it's, oh no, look at that. Okay, sorry. So sorry. You don't ever want to experience it. It's horrific. And so Bo would often give these tiny little noises, what I would call his trigger noises, indications. Oh my God, they were so tiny. They would be this tiny little like that. They were so, and actually it would always be with his mouth closed because he couldn't speak. So it was like, Actually, God, far out, that is exactly the sound that he used to make. And I would know immediately that whatever was happening, if it was left, would end up in a full-blown meltdown. So if you hear those initiation noises, if you hear those trigger noises, deal with it immediately. Find out what the problem is. And look, these kids are trying to communicate. That is the whole point of this. So there's something going on there. They're frustrated with a toy. You've taken them into an environment that's new. There's something there that is triggering this. So you want to deal with it immediately. Now, on the other end of the scale, if it's gone too far and you have entered meltdown, you can't do therapy at that time. It doesn't work. They're not capable of taking on information at that moment, right? So while I highly encourage therapy at the very beginning, calm talking, explaining what's going on, using very clear short sentences to find out what the issue is, or even picking your child up and removing them from whatever it is that they're around and saying, you feel sad, we walk away. And if you adopt, that kind of thing, you feel sad, you walk away, and you pick them up and you take them away to wherever, then that sentence becomes associated with that feeling of anxiety starting. So the idea is to create a routine, trigger a response with the beginning of the feeling. However, in the full throes of meltdown, there is no point in doing that kind of talking or therapy. They cannot take it in. Once you are in full meltdown, it is simply a matter of getting you both through that meltdown and onto the other side of it. Do not bother trying to teach them anything at that point. They are beyond capability of learning or taking in. You just help them in whatever way you can to calm, to fix, to slow down. And in some cases, passing out is where you're headed, right? That's just where it's going to go. So when that begins, that's when you want to start doing this association method. That's when you want to start doing, so for Bo, it would be this, and I would say, slow down. Well, it depends, find your words, write them down if you need to, but find your words that you absolutely are going to stick to. So again, I feel anxious, whatever word you want them to use later on, because these words are going to be the key to building bigger sentences. So if they're completely non-verbal and it doesn't seem, it depends on the age, it depends on the ability level, but if they're completely non-verbal and they're their comprehension, so their receptive communication doesn't seem to be there, as it just wasn't with Bo, then start simply. Sad. So that, you know, just sad. Let them know what the word is that they're feeling. Sad. And then, you know, who knows? Maybe it takes months, maybe it takes years. But then it's sad, walk away. Sad, go away. And then maybe it's months, maybe it's years. Sad. I feel sad. Walk away. I feel sad. So now this, again, I can't tell you this time frame. For Bo, everything that we did, I know I get a huge amount of comments about, oh, you know, she talks so much, she's so quick and so fast, and so, you know, there's so much information there. I know exactly what Bo is capable of, because I know every single word that he says has been learned from me, and it's been learned from me over 16, 17 years of working so slowly with one word, 2-word sentences. I know exactly how much he can take on and take in. So the fact that we are where we are and that he can hear me just ramble on, there were years where I couldn't speak to him like this. There were years when he couldn't answer a question like, what does it feel like to be autistic? Or tell me how it feels when you have your breakdowns, your meltdowns. There was no way that I have ever asked those questions before, when I've asked them, when you've seen it. Because before that, I was still at 1 word, 2-word. Where is the monkey? Repetition, guys. Stick with the same words. It is absolutely essential that you write down a list of things that you want your child to say. That's a great way to do it. Write down a list of things that you want your child to say, and then you need to say those things. Make them short. Don't put any conjunctive words in there. No ands, ifs, buts. All right. Sad, away. Start with that. Sad, away. Hungry, for eat. So hungry, then when you produce the food, eat. Try and shorten the time between it. So the way with Bo to get him, now we're sort of morphing into how to get someone verbal, but you have to understand that all of these therapies that you do will actually create your child associating feelings and words, and therefore potentially being able to replicate them. So while they're capable of associating the words you put, now when a kid's having a meltdown, you just saying meltdown repeatedly or sad is not going to help. They're at meltdown point. It's too late. It's gone. All right. So I just need to say it over and over again. Do not try to work with a kid in full meltdown in a therapy manner. Work with them before they get there. And if they're already there, just help them get through it. That's it. They're not taking anything on. I can't say it enough, okay? There's no chance of it. So just get it out of your head. So again, whether it's hungry, that's a feeling. So we want our kids to communicate with us. We want them to say, I'm getting hungry. I want something to eat. I feel sad and I don't know why. This is giving me anxiety. What are the main things? And do not go with something that, there is absolutely no concept of. Don't go with, love and, it's a beautiful day. Go with core physical things, life skills that you need. Don't start with anything fancy. Start with absolute, concrete things. Sad, sad, angry. These things, toilet, the things that you want. So if you write down what you want your kid to be able to say, and when they're feeling it, guys, if you know your kids, you should know exactly how they're feeling. Honestly, I mean, I know it's a shit thing to say because, you know, people are sort of going, oh, fuck, I don't know what, you know, how do I know what my kid's feeling? You know what? I've known what Bo is feeling, going through. He's communicated without being able to communicate, and I'll show you that. Actually, I'll dig out a video of exactly that. You know, there was this bib that he hated when he was little. He hated it, but it was part of his routine. So we got up in the morning and he had breakfast, and he knew the physical routines. He could do everything. So he would get up. I had his bowl, his spoon, and his bibs in the bottom drawer. He would go and get them out, and as soon as he went to grab this particular bib, which I knew he hated because it mustn't have felt good or something like that, but he needed it. It was one of those scoop bowl ones, and he was very determined when he was little, very, very determined to, you know, I was also trying to get him to feed, and it was all the milk and everything would drip down. So we'd have this, you know, regular bib on plus this plastic sort of scoop bowl one. And he would grab this bib out and he would hold it and he would just go, but he knew he had to have it, but he was expressing his frustration. He would go to the bottom drawer, he would get out the bowl happily, he would get out the spoon happily, he would get out everything happily, but as soon as he grabbed it, I'm not an idiot. You can't be an idiot. He clearly doesn't like this bib. Now, the fact that he didn't like it, well, you know what, we had to use it. But I knew what was going on, okay? And that's what I'm trying to get through to you. I knew what was going on. So I really do think that innately as parents, we know exactly what's going on in our kids. Hear those triggers before they build up. With the sentences that you want them to say, chop them down to a feeling. So Bo takes it out and he does, you know, he doesn't like it. And you say, and he goes, and I go, sad. You know, and then he and every time, I mean, we're talking every single morning, kids who are on the spectrum are very routine based. So it's not like you don't have an opportunity to do this every single day. You do. So every day you grab out this, whatever it is, or whatever's happening within the routine, and you have the opportunity, one word at a time, to build their vocabulary and a comprehension of these feelings that they are actually feeling at the time. So I don't know if that was helpful at all. Please let me know in regards to meltdowns. I do have some videos that I'll try and dig out, and I actually do already have some videos on meltdowns, so take a look in probably the parenting autism playlist, or the well, definitely the Life with Autism playlist. But anyway, check those out, okay? ASD rocks.